moving is an expensive, boring slog unless it's an affordable space adventure.
Let's go! We got to talk about this game because, as the title implies, it really is a Wii U masterpiece. We would not waste your time on this Throwback Thursday with a game that we do not wholeheartedly recommend.
Yes. Now, this is something that I didn't get to experience until the night that the Switch launched.
I know. We were trying to pass the time. I was like, what from Humble Bumble have I not redeemed? And we tried to redeem a few games, but then they wouldn't use the Wii Classic controller. It had to be a Wii U Pro controller or whatever. And we're like, what can we play? And we came up with Affordable Space Adventures, and I'm so glad the other games did not work. This is made by Nap Knock Games. Like I said, I got it in the Humble Bundle, but otherwise it's $20 and totally worth it. Am I right, Simeon?
It is. It's a genius puzzle adventure where it's cooperative, and you can play it by yourself, but
wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah. You got to play it with 3 people.
One other person or 2 other people.
Or 2 other people. So each one of you are controlling a different part of a spaceship. You're going through space. Now, what exactly is the story? Are you moving? Are you frontiering?
Oh.
I can't remember exactly the reason why. But you're moving, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's this new type of spacecraft that has finally made space adventuring affordable.
Okay, yeah.
And I think you are stranded, though. You want to make it back. You want to find, these little communication pods to phone home. And it's so funny when we find those things. None of them work, but it's this different, hilarious reason that each one doesn't work. This game has a great sense of humor. It reminds me of, Portal-ish humor.
Even the loading screens are hysterical.
Yeah.
There'll be weird warnings on a book, or they're tools and stuff you can see hanging around.
And then we got to talk about the gamepad, but with the humor, the gamepad is called the heads down display, and you typically refer to something like that as a HUD, heads up display, but it's heads down because the gamepad player is always looking at the gamepad. Pretty much. Mm-hmm. And because this game takes a lot of communication, the people who are sighting things, moving the ship, avoiding enemies, shooting bad guys, they're telling the person on the gamepad that you need more thrust, you need quieter engine, you need less gravity, and you have all these controls. And it's like a spaceship control center.
Yeah, there's these security robots that, some of them, if you're too loud, they'll shoot you. Yeah. Or if you have too many electronics on, they'll shoot you. Or if they sense too much heat, is that one of them? There's too much heat being generated on your spaceship, they'll shoot you. So you have to be constantly keeping this in mind, making sure your ship doesn't plummet to its death or get fried by something.
It's fantastic, and it's a very puzzly game.
Yes.
There are some areas where you have to build up a bunch of speed and then shut off your engines so that you can use momentum and fly through this area where you're not allowed to make any sound.
Yes.
And then come out the other end, turn your engines back on before you crash into some spikes or into the big mouth of a gaping monster or something. So it really uses the gamepad unlike any other game. Mm-hmm. And when I was playing with you and Ryan Van Leer, I was mainly on the gamepad, but the other jobs were fun too, right?
Absolutely. He was used to all the stuff, because when you have the gamepad, you have so much going on and so much to keep track of.
Not to sound intimidating, because they build you up one feature at a time, but I had gotten used to all those features.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I was typically the... I guess we switch off quite a bit, but I would sometimes be the light and then the flare shooter guy, and then Ryan would be the directing where we're actually going person. So it really balances out well. No matter what you're doing, you always have something to do. It's not like, this is a section where Scott's going to do all the work and I'm not going to do anything. No, you have to. Each person is constantly needed for every section. and it's always rewarding when we pass a section. I know whether it's by the means that the developers really meant or not, they probably did. But that one time, I don't know, maybe we had to like park on the edge of a precipice so that this guy couldn't hear us. And because if we went too far that way, then started an engine, we would have died. And anyway, it's genius. It's rewarding whenever you get past a section. You're like, yeah,
right.
And then you get
the challenge. It ramps up quickly,
and then you get past that section, and immediately you get shot down. But it's not something where like if you die, you feel like
yeah,
like, I'm gonna give up, because it starts you right there, but you still feel like it's a challenge.
Yeah, smart checkpoints everywhere, just the way you want it. So 2 to 3 people is ideal. If you can have 3, that's great. Simeon, we might have to finish this game up without Ryan. It has generous amount of levels. It's great. I'm gonna come out and say it, Simeon. This is a Wii U must own.
Ooh.
Even now, you have a Switch. If you still have a Wii U, it's a must own. If the Wii U is in your closet, you must break the Wii U out, hook it up, buy this game.
Yes.
And tweet the developers, tell them that we sent you.
Yes. I guess.
Because we get a commission. No, we don't.
No, we don't.
Nope.
We don't get paid from developers to say nice things about them.
No.
We like their stuff. It's great.
We pay developers.
Yes, we pay developers to play their games. It doesn't go the other way.
Yeah, and I feel kind of bad I got this in the Humble Bundle. Like, I don't know. But I wouldn't wait for this game. I don't think it's going to come out on another console. I don't think it's going to be ported to Switch. I mean, you can't have the Switch undocked and have other people playing, on the TV or something. Right. I think this is a Wii U only experience, and I don't want anyone to miss it. So please check it out. And thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the group.
Don't forget to share this video with your friends. Spread the good news of affordable space adventures.
See you guys next time.
Signing out.